artificial intelligence is developing at an unprecedented rate. As well as having the potential for good, it presents significant new challenges if left unchecked. For us to ensure that the power of AI is utilized to its full potential in a responsible way, international collaboration and coordination are critical. Launched in June 2020, the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence provides a point of contact for governments and the world's leading AI experts in order to promote the human-centric development and use of AI in a manner consistent with human rights, fundamental freedoms, and democratic values. By bringing together a diverse group of AI experts from a wide range of sectors, GPAI helps deliver better outcomes than any one country could accomplish alone. Their cutting-edge research and applied projects help countries bridge the gap between theory and practice. So far, GPAI's experts have worked across 4 themes: responsible AI, data governance, future of work, and innovation and commercialization. In its first 2 years alone, GPAI's list of member countries nearly doubled. AI has the power to help us tackle the most pressing global issues, from climate change to social inequality. GPAI, its member countries and its experts hope to steer us towards a future where AI is a significant force for good in the world.
Good morning. We will now begin the opening session of the GPAI Summit 2022. As a representative of the chair country, Japan's State Minister for Internal Affairs and Communication, Mr. Tsuge Yoshifumi, will give us a few words. State Minister, please take the podium.
Good morning, everyone. Dear GPAI member ministers and representatives, multi-stakeholder experts, and AI stakeholders in Japan. Thank you for joining us today at the GPAI Tokyo Summit. On behalf of the government of Japan, I extend to you my warm welcome. I am Tsuge Yoshifumi, State Minister for Internal Affairs and Communications. As you are all aware, GPAI is an international public-private partnership to promote human-centric AI launched in June 2020 under the leadership of Canada and France. This is the 3rd annual meeting of GPAI, and Japan is honored to follow Canada and France to become the first country in Asia to host the GPAI Summit. The world has been severely, in 2016, there was the ICT G7 meeting, and we proposed the need for international discussion, and at the G7 and OECD, we have led the debate about the OECD principles. That is because we expected AI to impact all corners of society, and that AI will be utilized across borders through networks, and we felt that international discussions were necessary. The launch of GPAI was one answer to our proposal, and we would like to thank Canada and France once again for taking the leadership in establishing GPAI. Japan is experiencing the fastest aging and depopulation in the world, and we are trying to maintain the vitality of our social economy and accelerate our growth by using an AI and other digital technologies to generate innovation. So the world has been severely affected by the spread of COVID and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and there is growing concern about the global economic outlook and social stability. There is expectation that AI and other digital technologies will not only be developed and utilized for people's happiness while upholding democratic values, but also to serve as an engine for economic growth through innovation. The implementation of the OECD principles for responsible AI based on human-centric values on which the GPAI bases its activities is becoming increasingly important. Since its inception, GPAI has brought together AI experts from around the world on a voluntary basis to promote responsible AI in society through project-based activities based on the OECD principles on AI. We are continuing our multi-stakeholder efforts to achieve Society 5.0, a future where, through the power of AI and digital technology, everyone can participate in society and be happy, leaving no one behind. Japan's AI strategy, revised this year, calls for the implementation of AI in various areas of society and the creation of a safe and resilient society that can withstand disasters through the power of digital technology, including digital twins. And these efforts are also part of a larger national strategy. Based on such domestic efforts, we would like to contribute to the further development of GPAI as its chair. In addition to the official GPAI events, such as the Ministerial Council meeting and the multi-stakeholder plenary, 20 or so events, side events, will be held. All of these side events will be open to non-GPAI members, and we aim to disseminate GPAI's activities to the world at this summit. I hope that the discussions during the two-day meeting will provide an opportunity for all to think about the future AI society. I wish for the success of this two-day meeting and that it will prove useful for your activities. And with that, I close my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, State Minister Tsuge. To follow, we have another minister from the chair country to offer us a few words. Mr. Nagamine Makoto, Parliamentary Vice Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry. Vice Minister, please take the podium.
ご紹介いただきました経済産業大臣政務官の長見
I am Nagamine Makoto. Thank you for your introduction. Parliamentary Vice Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry, it is a great pleasure for me to address to you on the occasion of the GPAI Summit 2022, as we in Japan and elsewhere are working to restart socioeconomic activities while limiting new infections. I'm very pleased that this summit has been organized as a hybrid meeting of in-person and online participation. On behalf of the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all GPAI member governments, international organizations and associations, experts, and general public participating today. AI technology can contribute not only to economic and social development, but also to the welfare and enrichment of all humankind. In particular, as the world faces urgent issues such as global warming, natural disasters, and infectious diseases, expectations for the role of AI technology has never been greater. We believe it is our great responsibility to meet these expectations. In order to establish the development and use of responsible AI worldwide, it is important to bring together parties who share the same values and provide a tangible direction. GPAI has only been in existence for about 2.5 years, but during that time, various projects have been launched by experts, active discussions have taken place, and many achievements have been reported. Many expert reports will be made during this summit, and we expect that would lead to great outcomes. METI has been working on the implementation of human-centric principle and other social AI principles since around 2020 and surveying domestic and international trends, we have been considering AI governance that contributes to better social acceptance of AI. Based on such study in 2021, as a non-regulatory approach, we prepared the governance guidelines for implementation of AI principles, and with its English version, we have solicited opinions from around the world.
本サミッ
In
ト
this summit, there will be not only reports by experts, but various side events too. Our ministry is hosting several sessions, including an event for the public and private sector discussions on ways to promote AI governance. We will continue to contribute to the activities of the GPAI based on the achievements made in Japan. We believe that the key to the GPAI's activities is a relationship between the experts' down-to-earth discussions and the governments that support them. Further collaboration between experts and governments should lead to outcomes that point the way toward the establishment of responsible AI and also lead to improved governance of GPAI itself.
と期待をいたしております。
We hope that the multi-stakeholder meeting to be held today and the ministerial council meeting to be held tomorrow will provide an opportunity to dramatically expand efforts to resolve common issues. In closing, let me wish that the GPAI Summit 2022 will serve as an opportunity to further strengthen the bonds among governments and experts who share the vision of human-centric AI. I ask for the cooperation of all of you to make this a very fruitful conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Parliamentary Vice Minister Nagamine. And next, although it's 2 a.m. at night in Paris, we have a few words from the French Minister for Digital Transition and Telecommunications, Jean-Noël Barrot, representing the previous chair country, France, remotely. Please turn your attention to the screens. Minister, please.
Dear ministers, dear friends, hello from Paris. As outgoing lead of the GPAI Council, it is my honor to be part of the opening of the third GPAI Summit. I first would like to warmly thank Japan for the organization of the summit this year. Unfortunately, due to conflicting commitments, I was unable to be with you in person, but I asked my Chief of Staff, Renaud Vedel, to attend, and I want to strongly reiterate the firm engagement of France towards the global partnership on AI. The year 2022, during which France had the honor to be the lead chair, has been prolific for GPAI. First, in terms of projects, with 13 projects to date in the areas of responsible AI, data governance, future of work, and innovation and commercialization. The outcome of these projects is to be considered as levers for governments, for example, to implement national or local initiatives for the digitalization of SMEs. Another example of that outcome is the capacity to help public authorities understand the potential of AI to reach sustainable development goals and to participate to the effort on climate change. Secondly, GPAI's members have been redesigning the partnership with a view to enhance its institutions, to foster the participation of members, as well as to implicate further their local stakeholders. I am confident that this renewed GPAI is a strong base for further collaboration and enlargement. Thirdly, GPAI is increasingly visible at the international level. It was a great thing that GPAI was represented at the COP27 in Bali, or working alongside international initiatives such as the Climate Data Steering Committee. GPAI is also collaborating with organizations such as UNESCO and the OECD in order to align efforts for the development of a responsible AI. Since 2021, numerous initiatives have indeed been launched by various actors across the world to shape guidelines, rules, or standards that frame the use of AI in a responsible manner preventing harms and discrimination from individuals. The EU has launched a regulation that is currently being negotiated by member states and the European Parliament. UNESCO adopted its recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence. The US have been issuing a blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights in order to protect citizen rights from potential harms. The National Institute of Science and Technology is seeking to have its AI risk management framework finalized in early 2023. And many other countries among you, regions, companies, or public entities around the globe have also launched their own initiatives. AI is a very fast evolving field, reaching all domains of science, technology, and the economy. In France, we estimate that at least 40% of our unicorns substantially use AI for their operations, products, or services, helping those technologies to disseminate fast. In a year when the specter of war has strongly resurfaced, we need more than ever to reaffirm the values that GPAI members have endorsed. We need to make sure that sophisticated technologies governance is deeply rooted in human-centric and democratic values, that it respects cultural and regional diversity. The first asset of GPAI is its multi-stakeholder ecosystem. By counting from the start on experts from academia, companies, civil society, and trade unions, GPAI mode of action is unique. It provides for diverse expertise from different fields of application of AI, able to express the needs and perspective of citizens, workers, companies, and research in a collaborative way. GPAI should build on this multi-stakeholder voice and in the future strengthen the balance between experts. The second asset of GPAI is its membership. While GPAI was created by a G7 impulse, it has opened its door to many countries around the globe, making this partnership an open forum to exchange on priorities, granting members from diverse points of views and situations in the uptake of AI at domestic level. I'm also confident that the Ministerial Council tomorrow will embrace new members for next year. And I would especially like to congratulate India for taking the incoming chair seat today. It is with great pleasure that we experience a shift into GPAI's membership. This makes it possible to make the voice of states that are not represented in other fora, such as the OECD, heard. And we should keep our door open for members that share the same GPAI's value. The third asset of GPAI is its dynamism. While 13 projects have been ongoing during the year 2022, experts have proposed a number of 17 new projects to be addressed in 2023. More generally, the bottom-up approach of GPAI allows experts to constantly propose projects that are in line with GPAI strategic priorities each year. And the involvement of new experts each year provides for new expertise to be pooled together. As experts from the core base of the organization, I personally want to underline their work and their engagement into the success of this partnership. Their commitment and constant input provides for solid expertise in response to member states' strategic orientations. There are still some steps ahead for GPAI to be able to embrace greater visibility and impose itself as the IPCC of AI. The revision of the institutional mechanisms of the partnership will help to go in this direction, notably as they will allow more countries to have their say, participate, and fund projects. Overall, I'm sincerely convinced that GPAI will be able to build on its forces and assets in order to have a greater impact and hence visibility across the world. I would like now to turn to my fellow Japanese representatives. We are very thankful for the leading role you have accepted to play in the year to come. Everybody respects the high-profile position Japan occupies in the field of advanced technologies. I'm certain that the Japanese GPAI presidency will bring success to this organization by paving the way for its recognition at the international level. Be certain to count on the support in this task of France as the outgoing chair. With GPAI chairmanship in good hands, I can say to you sayonara and wish to all of you a very good GPAI summit. I was in India last week at my counterpart's office. It is therefore with great pleasure that we will collaborate with trust, side by side, in the GPAI's Council, and I have the opportunity to give the floor to India's representative. Have a very nice day in Japan.
Thank you very much, Minister Barrault. And we need some preparation for another remote speech. Thank you for your patience. All right. Finally, we would like to invite a representative of the incoming chair country, India, the Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, participating remotely, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, to give us his greeting words. Minister, please.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am fortunate not to be as early in the morning as Minister Barrault. It's about 6:30 here in New Delhi, India. Thank you all. On behalf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and our government, I extend my warm greetings to all those who are participating today at the GPAI 2022. I thank also the members who have supported India's chairmanship of the GPAI for the forthcoming year. I thank you deeply indeed. I thank Japan. I join my colleague, Mr. Barrault, in thanking Japan for their role in organizing this year's GPAI. And of course, I thank France for their leadership in the previous year. Let me just share a few thoughts on our approach towards all things digital and in particular AI. Uh, the government of India under the Prime Minister has for several years looked at digital technology as a way of empowering our citizens, transforming the lives. For many, many years, there was this narrative about large democracies and in a sense that democracies do not work. And over the last 7 years, the extensive deployment of technology in governance and in digital government has bridged the gap between the remotest Indian and the government of India and has gone a significant way in establishing trust between governance, democracy, and citizens of a large country like India. So we are highly invested, heavily invested in technology in many ways, in not just in improving governance and democracy, but also in creating an ecosystem of innovation. The India stack that was built as a consequence of our investments in digital government and digital governance is today available for nations around the world and is a testimony to how low-cost technologies can make deep, lasting impacts on democracy and people's lives. So to start with, I think it is clear for all of us who are, in a sense, deeply invested in technology and deeply invested in technology as a future of our economies and of our governments, that artificial intelligence is a kinetic enabler, is a is a is a is a is an absolutely important path forward in how we establish, how we take forward the current investments in technology and innovation. In this context, I just want to share a few thoughts with the participating members and, of course, the participants at large, the multi-stakeholders, that we have viewed the internet and we have all experienced the internet as being this big disruptive force over the last many years. It was always seen as a force for good, and the internet has transformed not just business models, it has transformed governance, it has transformed models of how enterprise function, and of course, at the heart of all of it, it has transformed citizens and consumers' lives all around the world. We have seen this specifically in India during these last 2 years as we battled the COVID pandemic, that technology and indeed the underlying internet has played a big, big role in how resilient our response to this pandemic was. But it is also clear that as the internet represented a force for good, that governments and people lagged the innovations in the internet that also created harms. And therefore, today, as we speak today, the government of India and India is building an ecosystem of modern cyber laws and regulations and framework that are all driven by basically three boundary conditions of ensuring openness, safety and trust, and accountability. These three go in a large measure, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, in shaping how we look at technology today and how we should look at technology in the future. AI has been described by our Honorable Prime Minister, and I'll quote how he views it, and therefore is how the government views it, government of India views it. AI is for empowerment, for knowledge sharing, and for optimum utilization of resources. It remains our collective responsibility to ensure trust in how AI is used. Algorithmic transparency is key to establishing this trust. Equally important is accountability, and we must protect the world against weaponization of AI by certain state actors. So I will essentially make the point that India will work hard. India will work in cooperation with all the member states in making sure that we really build a framework around which AI and the power of AI can be exploited for the good of citizens and consumers of all our nations, all around the world, and ensure that there are adequate guardrails to prevent the misuse and indeed user harm that can come out of the malicious use of AI. To the point of what India is doing today, I just want to quickly lay out in front of you for your consideration. We have a national artificial intelligence policy. We have recently enacted a national data governance framework policy. We have created an India Data Management Office and are soon going to launch what should be one of the world's largest publicly accessible data sets program called the India Data Sets Program. So we are committed to the efficient, the useful use of AI in governance, in catalyzing the innovation ecosystem around AI that can create good, useful, trusted applications for our citizens, for the world at large, for the enterprises of the world. And that is a commitment that is absolutely rock solid. I will end by again thanking Japan for hosting GPAI 2022. I thank the members who have supported our presidency for the forthcoming year, chairmanship for the forthcoming year, and I do pledge on behalf of the people and the government of India that we will work in partnership to evolve GPAI's outcomes and objectives into something that will be beneficial for peoples all around the world and the countries all around the world. Thank you again for inviting me today. I join Minister Barrow in regretting that I'm not able to be there in person. I had planned to be there in person, but again, last-minute political commitments means that I have to do this virtually, and I hope you will forgive me for this missing this event in person. Thank you again for hosting us. Thank you for supporting our presidency, and thank you for today's program. And I look forward to working with all of you in the coming year in making sure that GPAI clearly establishes its mark and lays the framework for a world that can use AI usefully and productively. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Minister Chandrasekhar. And this concludes the opening session of the GPAI Summit 2022. The opening session will be followed by side events at each venue. We are looking forward to your participation. Please make sure that you have all your belongings with you when you leave the venue, and kindly leave the simultaneous interpretation receivers on your seats. Thank you very much for joining us today.